Hi, this is Clayton with my first weather briefing, first full weather briefing in the weather briefing assignment for aviation meteorology, and we'll just jump right into it. And we'll start with the current conditions. I'm also going to include adverse conditions in this as well, but it's also going to go into some forecasting elements as well with air mets and sigmets. So here's the surface analysis chart. Looks like fairly widespread cold front extending all the way from the Hudson Bay. There's an occlusion there, and that cold front extends all the way down to Kentucky, and then becomes a stationary front extending from Kentucky down south into northern Texas, and then all the way into Utah. High pressure system behind that, and then further west to that high pressure system, very strong low pressure. North Dakota has a low pressure system over it, along with a trough extending all the way into eastern Manitoba, and another stationary front there as well, extending across North Dakota and into Canada as well. Here we have the graphical depiction of the air mets. Start with the air met for turbulence. That's over Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kansas, and that extends all the way up to upstate New York, covering that area. For moderate turbulence between flight level 240 and flight level 410. Also have moderate turbulence over some of the New England states, New Hampshire and Vermont. For moderate turbulence below flight level below 10,000 feet. Up in the New England states there, we also have air mets for IFR and mountain obscuration as a result of precipitation, clouds, and mist. And out west we also have air mets for mountain obscuration and IFR as a result of clouds and mist. And here's a graphical depiction of the convective sigmets across the U.S. Lots of convective sigmets in the southeastern section of the states, all the way up the east coast. Those have tops ranging around flight level 400 and up to 450. Some of these convective sigmets have winds up to 60 knots, gusting to 60 knots, hail up to 1.5 inches, and even tornadoes expected in New Hampshire and Vermont. Out west, New Mexico also has a couple of convective sigmets expected for isolated severe thunderstorms as well. And here on the radar summary chart, you can see all these thunderstorms that are causing all the problems. Out west of New Mexico, you see very isolated thunderstorms, tops to 380, moving northeast at 18 knots. And down on the southeast side of the state, a long line of thunderstorms moving east, tops indicating at least up to 560, and as well a long line of thunderstorms up to the northeast side of the states. Some very isolated pockets of precipitation up in northeastern Minnesota, but if you noticed in the slides before, we didn't have any adverse conditions forecast, no convective sigmets, no air mets forecast for North Dakota or Minnesota. And here we have the visible satellite imagery. You can see all of those thunderstorm systems moving through the southeast states, those isolated thunderstorms in New Mexico, and the severe thunderstorms up in the northeastern states. Across North Dakota, mainly clear skies, some looks like some high-level stratus clouds, but for the most part, that low pressure is still staying up in Canada for the most part, not affecting North Dakota too terribly much. Here's the infrared satellite imagery, and of course you can see those thunderstorms have very cold tops, very high in the atmosphere, and looks like you can see some of the wraparound moisture behind the occlusion in the northeastern states as well. And of course the water vapor satellite imagery, and like I said, the wraparound moisture behind that occlusion. And of course you can see very vividly these different systems moving from the southeast. And take a look at the more local conditions here. Eastern North Dakota and Minnesota looking like pretty clear skies, VFR conditions throughout most of the area. As you can see on the satellite imagery, that makes sense. Still some isolated pockets of precipitation. Crane Lake Seaplain is reporting 2 miles visibility in drizzle, and some other airports. Eli Municipal is also recording reduced visibility and precipitation, but for the most part, clear skies in North Dakota and Minnesota. Also take a look at the PIREPs all across the United States. Several urgent PIREPs actually for turbulence. King Air C90 reported moderate to severe turbulence over New Mexico, and CRJ 700 as well as 2 MD-88s reported severe turbulence over northern Georgia. It also said in the remarks no damage and no injuries, so that's good, of course. And you also have a couple urgent pilot reports for turbulence over Tennessee there as well, but other than that, just various reports for turbulence, co-located for the most part just with the front moving through, the cold front moving through, and the thunderstorms in the area. Also have the freezing level graphic here. Very high freezing level at the moment, even over North Dakota. Freezing levels at around 12,000 feet, and at 16,000 feet extending down to Texas all the way to California. Now we'll start getting into more of the forecast conditions with prognostic charts and TAFs. Starting with the low-level significant weather prognostic chart, some areas of marginal VFR in northeastern New Mexico, as well as Arkansas, all those southeastern states there as well, with the thunderstorms going through still, I imagine. Marginal VFR still forecast for Washington and Oregon, so mountain obscuration will most likely still be a problem there. Moderate turbulence is still forecast for the northeastern states, upstate New York, below this is the freezing level. Moderate turbulence below 10,000 for both Maine and upstate New York, it looks like. Here we have the high-level significant prognostic chart, and still all those areas that had thunderstorms before, those thunderstorms are expected to continue over the southeastern states and all along the east coast. Looks like the jet stream over Illinois is at about flight level 410, and it's at about 100 knots, nothing too significant there. Tropopause, lowest is at low pressure over 390 in Nevada. Also have that jet stream just moving over Minnesota as well at flight level 330. And looking at some of the TAFs in the nearby area, Grand Forks is predicting at 0300 Zulu, winds variable at 4, visibility +6, skies clear, and at 1500, wind 360 at 8, +6, and scattered at 5,000. Thief River Falls predicting at 0300, pretty similar conditions as well as Devil's Lake, but variable at 4, +6 miles, and few at 5,000. 1500 will be 010 at 6 knots, scattered 5,000. Devil's Lake, again very similar, variable at 4 to 300, +6 miles, skies clear. 1500 predicting 100 at 7, +6, scattered 6,000. Fargo predicting at 0300, variable 4, visibility +6, few clouds at 9,000, and then at 1600, 350 at 8, +6, few clouds at 5,000. And just a quick look at the area forecasts for North Dakota and Minnesota. Really reflect the same thing as the TAFs do, honestly. Conditions are expected to persist for a while here, fairly stable. Outlook for all of these is VFR. Some widely scattered light rain showers expected in northeastern Minnesota. Light rain and thunderstorms, isolated thunderstorms. Cumulonimbus tops at 330. Other than that, nothing too significant in the area forecast. And that'll wrap up my first briefing.